off the G5 jet. I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Welcome back, eSIM Studios podcast live stream episode number 135 on this Monday afternoon, July 1st, 2024. Today's going to be a quick episode. I have a birthday in the family. So we have plans for here shortly this afternoon. So we will get through the headlines today. We live stream every day, right? Every single day. The very best technology headlines or news that's making the headlines in technology, regardless of platform, Android, iPhone, even mini PCs, computers, all sorts of stuff. So if it involves technology, it involves eSIM Studios. So let me put on some background music here, and we will get to it. So have some interesting news here, right? I want to thank everybody for joining us. If you're catching this, again, it's going to be pretty quick, but probably 15 minutes. But if you miss it by chance, I know we're not recording at our normal schedule time. You can always catch the replay here on YouTube. You can also take us with you on the go anywhere you get your podcast, right? Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, the application, iHeartRadio Music app, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcast, simply search eSIM Studios and we will appear. So let's get to it. Let me share the screen here. Our first story. Now, we're getting our stories from my application. I built this from the ground up myself. eSIMstudios.app. Now, we do have a winner. If you go to, I want everybody to go to eSIMstudios.app, right? I'll put the banner on the very bottom of the screen so everybody knows where to go. We do weekly giveaways here on eSIM Studios app. So if you can see on the left side, if you go to giveaway, weekly giveaways, this just ended. So, look, only 29 people entered, right? So you have an excellent chance of winning a weekly prize, whether it is a phone. This week it's a $25 Amazon gift card. As I mentioned, we're gonna do phones, tablets, all sorts of cool stuff that we have. Cases, phone cases that companies have provided us for reviews. We'll simply give those away. All sorts of cool stuff, right? Now, you can also listen to the podcast, audio podcast in our eSIM Studios app. You can also watch our YouTube channel on the eSIM Studios app at eSIMstudios.app, right? Let me send out, you can install it on your device as a web app, right? So whether you have Android, iPhone, MacBook, Windows laptop, Android tablet, iPad, just go to eSIMstudios.app. After a few seconds, it'll ask you, hey, do you want to install this on your home screen? Simply select yes, and we do all the updating in the background. So you don't even have to go to your app store to update it. And it is technically safer. It is technically safer than an application on the App Store. Sorry. I'm pushing an update out to everybody, all the viewers. Let's see, my app. Let's see here. Let's go back. You can catch us on eSIM Studios Live right here. See? eSIM Studios Live. So let me push out an update to let everybody know that we are live, right? And you will get notified all new deals whenever we go live. It's a really, really, really cool application. We have currently quite a few subscribers. All right, pushed out the notification. So we will notify you as well when we go live. Now, let's get into the news, right? So if you have a OnePlus 12, I know not a lot of our viewers, subscribers have a OnePlus 12. A few of y'all do, but there is now the June update. Currently, it's on the May. OnePlus is one of the few. It's unfortunate. This is one of the minor cons, or one of the minor negatives. Not many negatives about this OnePlus 12. It's a badass device, but one of the small things that I would fix, they don't update and or push security patches every single month. They're typically every other month they will issue a security patch. Google Pixel, Samsung Galaxy devices, every month you get a security update and software update. OnePlus, it's every other month, right? We discussed that on yesterday's podcast, how that happens and why that happens. But the June security patch for your OnePlus 12 device is now rolling out. I checked mine just now. It's not available, but have no worries. Go ahead and check yours if you do have one. However, if it is not showing up, it probably will here over the next day or two, right? They roll these out over the next few days. Now you can also, a little trick that has worked in the past, disconnect your mobile network. So disconnect Wi-Fi, disconnect mobile network like your SIM card, and then reconnect Wi-Fi, reconnect your mobile network. What that does is it cuts ties to the update server and refreshes that connection. And there's been times in the past where I'll do that and then boom, it automatically appears. Or simply turn off your phone, so power it off, power it back on, boom, reappears. So give that try those two tricks if you check in your settings and it's not there. And if you do all three of those and it's still nothing showing up, then just gonna have to wait a day or two. But if you do have a OnePlus 12, have no fear. I do have a list of bug fixes, improvements here on this article. Bunch of improvements, right? So you get animation improvements. Gaming sound has been improved upon. Audio. Let's see. The app symbols presently react quicker when you tap them. So quicker animations, even more improved upon user interface. Nothing huge, but minor improvements to make this awesome device even better. If that's possible, yes, it's possible. So I got a list of all the updates here on eSIMstudios.app, right? Now, check this out. Galaxy tablet owners. I have the S9 Ultra, phenomenal tablet. They're making some changes. So Samsung is not on a normal release schedule for their tablets. The pandemic screwed that all up, as it did a lot of stuff. But the S9 Ultra has been out for over a year, so we're kind of just twiddling our fingers here, waiting for this S10 launch. It should be very soon. However, I don't think it's going to be with the Samsung Unpacked event on July 10th for the foldables. I think they're going to do a separate launch at some point soon, because at this foldables launch on July 10th in Paris, they're going to release the Z Fold 6, Z Flip 6. They're going to release new watches. They're going to release new earbuds. But I don't believe these are going to be a part of it. So these are probably another month or two away, and shoot, they might not even do a unveiling or a launch party or whatever you want to call it. They may just put out a press release and say, hey, these are now available. They've done that in the past, right? What are the changes? They are going to do away with the base model. So Samsung traditionally had three models. They've had going back to the S9, the current S9 lineup, they've had the Tab S9, Tab S9 Plus, Tab S9 Ultra. This year they're getting rid of the base model. So you're just going to have the Tab S10 Plus, which is a 12.4-inch AMOLED display. And then you're going to have a Tab S10 Ultra, which is a 14.6 super dynamic AMOLED display. The best of the best when it comes to Android tablets, right? Even the Plus version, even the 12.4-inch, it's the second best Android tablet on the market. If you're in the United States, you're going to get a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. You're going to see 12 gigs of RAM. You're going to see plenty of storage, right? in some other markets, Samsung has been tooling around with the idea of putting a MediaTek CPU in this tablet. I know that may be a shock to some of you, but as we roll on, as we continue push through this year, I gave y'all the report last week, maybe it's Friday. Samsung is considering with the S25, right? The predecessor, the successor of the S24 series, the S25 series coming out in January. We did get reports that because S24, the current S24 and previous models, the US will always see the Qualcomm edition CPU. However, Samsung has put their Exynos CPU in other markets around the world. This year, it appears they cannot get their newest Exynos CPU under wraps. They've been having lots of issues in manufacturing of this new Exynos CPU. So they're actually, again, tooling around with the idea of putting a MediaTek there. Now, this would be the absolute flagship MediaTek CPU. This is not some year-old CPU. This is not some mid-range current CPU. This is going to be their flagship CPU. Should be pretty badass. Now, they're looking to put the MediaTek CPU in some markets around the world on the S25 series. In the US, you're going to see Qualcomm. However, they're thinking about doing the same thing with this tablet. So the US will see a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. However, we don't know where, but we do know the US will see Qualcomm in the S25 and the Tab S10. It looks like they're going to release this Tab S10 with a MediaTek CPU in some other markets around the world. Again, I don't know what countries, what continents are getting it. But we do know it is confirmed USA getting Qualcomm. So if you're here in the United States, you have no fear, and you're interested in getting this tablet or the S25 series, we have a ton of listeners all around the world. Stay tuned, subscribe to our channel, download the eSIM Studios app on your phone. I'm going to stay on top of this topic. To me, it's very important, and as well it is to you if you're outside of the United States. I promise I'll bring you the latest and greatest news when it comes to this, because it could affect your device, right? If you're interested in two of these devices. But internals should stay the same. Internals are going to get all new hardware, but you know what to expect when you get a Samsung tablet. If you've never had a Samsung tablet, it's just like their flagship. Now, I'm not talking about their mid-range tablets. This is like the S24 series, right? It's their flagship tablet series. You're going to get the best of the best. Just a phenomenal tablet. You cannot go wrong with this. So, as I mentioned right here, MediaTeks are in the cards. So, stay tuned to eSIM Studios YouTube channel and eSIM Studios .app. And we'll keep you on the latest news when it comes to MediaTek and Samsung. Now, what do you know? Pixel users. Good news. If you're a Pixel lover, if you're hashtag Team Pixel like we are here at eSIM Studios, if you're a Pixel super fans member, as we are here at eSIM Studios, good news today. The Pixel 9 series, now, the Pixel 9 Pro, Pixel 9 Pro XL, Pixel 9 Pro Fold, or Fold 2, whatever you want to call it, is going to have the very best display on any mobile device to date. Google's not messing around with this display. Now, the base model may not be the very best in the world because it is a base model, but the Pro XL, and the Fold 2 are going to get the very best display in the world. We got word today they're starting to manufacture these, guys. Like these are in the manufacturing plants in India, and they're cranking these suckers out. Look, launch of this, they moved the launch up a couple months. We're roughly 5 weeks away from launch, which means Google's got to start pushing these out. So as time goes on, as each day goes on, if you're a news lover like I am, and you want the inside scoop, again, you're going to want to subscribe to eSIM Studios because we have an exclusive right here. So this display that they're coming out with, it's a Samsung produced display, which is not uncommon, right? Samsung makes displays for almost every mobile manufacturer around the globe. Even Apple, right, gets displays from Samsung, among others, but mainly Samsung. Pixel line has had their displays made and produced by Samsung, I think, forever. But here's the proof. So the distribution of the Pixel 9 Pro, and Pixel 9 Pro XL will include the M14 OLED. That is the part number and part name of this Samsung display, of the Samsung OLED. The M letter is a marker of the quality of materials used when producing this display. So the higher this number is, the more superior the screen it is, and in terms of brightness, lifespan, effectiveness, picture quality. So this year's S24 series. So the internal part for their Samsung display that they put on the S24, right, Samsung's flagship, was M13. That's the very best display in the market. The predecessor of the M13 screen is the M14. Well, guess what? We got word now that the Pixel line now has part number M14 as their display. So they're going to get this all new. It's going to be a super dynamic AMOLED display. It's going to be the very best display on any mobile device in the world. And you will have that in your hands if you're going to order this new Pixel here in a matter of weeks. Now, another interesting fact. Samsung is selling this same display to Apple. So the new upcoming Apple iPhone 16 series, well, take that back. The 16 Pro and the 16 Pro Max are going to have this same M14 OLED display from Samsung. The 16 base model, 16 Plus are not. They're going to have last year's M13 display. So Apple's buying this display to put it on their very best Pro and Pro Max. Pixel's going to have this display technically before anybody because they're coming out in just a matter of weeks, right? So that's very good news if you're a Pixel lover, Pixel user, and Pixel supporter as we are. You're going to get a badass phone. This is going to be top of the line. Now, CPU, that's another story, and when we get ours in, we'll do a bunch of testing. But everything else, top of the line. We'll see where that UFS storage is, because one of the downsides not many people talk about, and look, it's not really that big of a deal depending on, how you look at it. Google did undercut the Pixel 8 UFS storage because they put UFS storage, I think it was 3.0 or 3.1 in the Pixel 8 series when UFS storage 4.0 was already out. Now, one thing I would like to see Pixel do is put RAM expansion inside the software, the capability of doing that. But you're going to need fast UFS storage. I expect Google to put UFS storage 4.0 in these Pixel 9 devices. If they don't, I will let you know, because that's one of the first things I'm going to check. But again, not like it's a deal breaker, but if you're buying a flagship device, you need flagship internals, flagship hardware, right? So I did blast them when the 8 came out for doing that, but I mean, it's not a deal breaker depending on who you are. Some don't care. And look, I still got the phone, so it's not like it bothered me that much, but hey, what's going on, brother? Look, yeah, so this Pixel 9 appears to be pretty badass. Now, let's see. I told you I was going to fly through these stories real quick. U.S. carriers have been tested, right? So there's an app, OpenSignal. I think I did a app review of OpenSignal. I'm not sure. Let me see. Yeah, looks like I did do a. Let's see here. It looks like I might put that app in the app review in the description. But OpenSignal, they've been a long-standing application and company. Really, they've been a company before their app, and they just developed an app. But this company tests. It's an internal publication of insiders that developed an app, but all they do is test networks. They've been doing it for years. They do a best networks test every single year, right? And it appears that the very best mobile operator is this year, you guessed it, T-Mobile. So depending on I'm looking to get out of T-Mobile, to be honest with you. Prices are going up, data leaks here and there, but they do show up when it is in the crunch time. They do show up when you need the performance. They do show up when it comes to coverage. That's just a fact. But you're going to be paying for it with possible data leaks, possible your information getting out there. Not to mention, the price is going up every year. So you're going to have to deal with that. Now, what is involved in this best of, right? Well, it involves signal strength and download and or upload speeds. T-Mobile got the number one spot with an average. Now, this is an average of the whole United States, all 50 states. In fact, I think, yes, all 50 states, continental U.S., all 50 states, not continental 48, all 50. The average speeds from all of their testing, T-Mobile topped the list at an average download speed of 287 megabytes per second, outperforming Verizon and AT&T by a pretty big margin, right? So the way that they tested this was basically by 15 categories. However, speed test being probably the number one or most crucial out of those 15. Let's see where Verizon landed. I know I put it in here somewhere. Anyways, it was by a pretty big margin. I'll go. Oh, here we go. The next closest was 139 megabytes, more than Verizon. So megabytes per second. So a pretty sizable difference. Now T-Mobile's been buying a ton of spectrum. T-Mobile's been buying Mint Mobile, been buying US Mobile, and they continue to fill out their network. It's interesting, and I'll get into this tomorrow because I need to get out of here, but I'll get into this tomorrow. T-Mobile is turning into the carrier they used to troll, or the carrier they used to target, right? Because they used to, when they were smaller, the Magenta, right? The quote-unquote uncarrier. Now they're the carrier. That they basically built their model around of being everything not like the big carriers. Well, guess what? They're the number one carrier now. I think technically, what is it? Verizon, as far as subscriber numbers, I think Verizon might be the biggest, but T-Mobile's gonna swallow that up here and be the number one carrier here pretty soon. They've got technically the strongest network, even though where I'm at is a dead spot. Everywhere else seems to be pretty strong, but you're going to be paying for that, right? Prices are not cheap. They're just not. Now, I'm looking to leave T-Mobile, quite honestly, and I've been looking at plans. I've been looking at signal strengths. I've been downloading eSIMs and testing networks here in my off time, and I think we'll get into that this week as well. If you want to leave T-Mobile, if you want to leave AT&T, if you want to leave Verizon, what is your options, right? What is your next best options? I think I'm going to spend a whole podcast this week just getting into that. What are your options? Let's look into everything. If you're leaving T-Mobile, let's look at AT&T, Verizon, and then all the MVNOs, or vice versa. If you're on Verizon and you're looking to leave, okay, well, let's look at AT&T, T-Mobile, and all the MVNOs. Or if you're on AT&T, okay, well, let's see what T-Mobile and Verizon's options are, and then all the MVNOs. MVNO is the subcarriers, right? So T-Mobile purchased Mint Mobile. So Mint Mobile would be an MVNO of T-Mobile. Cricket would be an MVNO of AT&T, right? So basically they use the towers, they use the same service, it's just at a cheaper price. And that's kind of behind the scenes how they work it out and get the prices down, which really doesn't matter in the long run. But why don't we do that one day this week? Let's get into, if you want to leave one of these big carriers, what are your options? And that leads us into our last story, because this is a cool plan with AT&T. Now, I don't know if it's enough to entice customers to move over to AT&T, but no other carrier in my research, my 15 minutes of research, offers this. So this could be an option. This could be something that pulls you to AT&T service, right? So there's a new plan. There's a new option AT&T is allowing to get you 3, and I might very well sign up for this. Y'all know I go through a lot of phones, regardless if I get sent a phone, if a OnePlus sends me a phone or Samsung sends me a phone, or if they don't. I still need to buy it because I still need to make content. I still need to make videos. I've traditionally gone through T-Mobile because they have pretty good upgrade deals where you get the device for free. You just got to trade in something, and I have tons of videos on how to hack that system. Now, T-Mobile's going through a bunch of changes and policy changes that I'm going to review this week when we get into it, because it looks like those days might be over. But we're getting into this AT&T thing. So they've just announced a new plan that gets you 3. You got that, including the one that you already have, assuming you already have a flagship, or you can get, so technically 4, well, I guess 4 phones the first year if you already have a phone, but put that aside. They'll give you 3 flagship or whatever phones you want to upgrade to per year in a 365 days. So you can get, now, here's the catch. You're going to have to trade in your current phone. So let's say you sign up with AT&T right now on this plan. And you're going to get the new Pixel that's coming out. No, take that out. You're going to get the new foldables, right? The new Samsung Galaxy, let's say Z Flip 6, right? Coming out on July 10th, right? So that would be number 1. You can upgrade to that. Now, let's say I don't really like it that much. I'm going to go back to a Pixel. So August 13th, the new Pixel 9 series is coming out, assuming on AT&T. So you upgrade to that. That's 2 upgrades. And then you're like, nah, you know what? I'm going to go back to iPhone. Screw this Android thing. I'm going to go back to iPhone. So mid to late September, you upgrade to iPhone 16 Pro Max. Boom, that's 3. So there's your 3 upgrades in a calendar year. Now, the catch is you got to trade in your current phone. So if you start off with a Flip 6 and you're going to upgrade the Pixel 9 Pro, you're going to have to trade in that Flip 6 for the Pro, and then you're going to trade in that Pixel 9 Pro in for the iPhone. See what I'm saying? You can't just keep the phone, but they'll allow you to upgrade 3 times in a calendar year. I can't remember the last time a carrier had a plan or something geared towards people that like to upgrade a lot, which is me. So this might be a viable option for myself. We will look into it. I think, why don't we do that tomorrow or Wednesday? We will go over the current landscape of plans, and if you want to upgrade, we'll look into Mint Mobile, we'll look into US Mobile, we'll look into Cricket, we'll look into AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, Metro, we'll look into US Mobile, if I already said. There's a bunch of little ones that we can look into as well. Visible, right? We'll do all of that, right? What are your options? We'll do that. And they're tomorrow, Wednesday. We'll just have to see how the day plays out, but we'll do it tomorrow, Wednesday. So I am going to get out of here. I appreciate the time. Thank you very much for joining us today. And as I mentioned, join us tomorrow. We'll get into it, all the different carrier things and all that good stuff, and having some minor PC issues. So I appreciate everybody bearing with me while I kind of work through these. I don't know what is going on, but I will try to work it out because I know it's kind of messing up the broadcast or the live stream. So appreciate y'all sticking with me. But let me get out of here. I got to run. EIM Studios podcast, same time, same place tomorrow. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.